fairly laid back. Attractive, of course, is good.
Now that was twice, 2 times. Now we see why you're taking your time.
Yeah.
In Korean, we would say 눈이 높다. Do you think you are?
Well, people say that to me, and they say that I'm, and I think that more than being sort of, well, it's hard to explain that expression in Korean. Basically means that you're very picky, but it has a connotation of you have very high standards.
That's exactly what I'm
and I don't think I have the high standards in the traditional sense of that expression in Korean, but I think I am kind of particular in what I'm looking for. So it's not so much that I want those particular things that everybody, that traditionally people want. You know, you look at her family background and her education and things like that, and those things I don't really care about too much. But I am picky in a different way.
Yeah, what's the number 1 on the list? One or two? For looking
somebody
for...
who's open-minded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to take a shooting star moment here where I explain a little expression.
Okay.
Actually, Brian explained it very well, and often in Korean we say 눈이 높다 when you're trying to find your mate or your significant other. But in English, we normally say, yeah, he has high standards, or she has high standards. Or another way to put it simply, to review it, is being very picky. So, or also, he's very particular about, she's very particular about. So, do your parents say, 눈이 높다 to you, or no?
My parents just think I have bad taste in women.
Really?
They think I just should find a nice girl who is, as in Korean they say, 참하고, 착하고, you know, someone who's sort of demure and nice. And being a man, I like a woman who's attractive and who's kind of fun and that sort of thing. So, just different ideas.
You're definitely a man.
Yeah.
No doubt. Now, so tell me, we were talking about your siblings. I've seen a photo of your older sister, and a lot of people mistake, she's very well known in the American world of education, is that right?
Yeah.
And her name is Michelle Rhee, not the golfer Michelle Wee.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, so sometimes people get confused about that, and no, my sister is not the golfer Michelle Wee. She is Michelle Rhee. She was, a few years ago in particular, she was in the news quite a bit when she became the chancellor of the Washington, D.C. public schools. And it was a very big issue because that was when educational reform was a very big issue, was starting to become a big issue in the United States.
Yeah, please share with us, you know, what that position is, how, you know, important that position is.
Yeah, the chancellor of DC Public Schools essentially is in charge of, they oversee everything that happens in the public schools from kindergarten until 12th grade through high school in the city of Washington, D.C. Now, the city of Washington, D.C. isn't that big, but it is, it's influential because, one, obviously it's the capital of the United States, and people have their eye on it, but also because this is one of the worst school districts in the country. Now, the fact that the capital city has one of the worst school districts in the country is a bit of a dichotomy, and so people have really looked at Washington, D.C. as an example of what not to do and what's going wrong in education, public education in the U.S., and in some ways what possibly you could do to change things. And so my sister was very prominent nationally, because she was really trying to change a lot of the way that public schools work and the way that they hire teachers and the way that they pay teachers. And so it was a very, very controversial thing.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
Well, congratulations to your family and your sister. That's a big title and position.
Yeah, well, it was it was a very big deal, especially at the
Yeah.
time. And she still obviously works in the field of education reform. And so, especially in here in Korea, it was in the news quite a bit as well. And she met with the president of Korea and all sorts of other dignitaries and important folks in the U.S. as well. So, yeah, we're obviously very proud of her.
That's right. And not everyone gets to be on the cover of Time magazine.
Not everyone, yeah. I'm still waiting for my turn.
Well, it's great that you're both a bit involved in education, you know, because you do a lot of the educational shows here.
Yes.
And you both have in common. She gets mistaken for Michelle Wee, the golfer, but her name's Michelle Rhee. Here you get mistaken Brian Fly to the Sky versus Brian Rhee.
Exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about your oldest brother, is it? Or where is he?
Yeah, my
What's-
oldest brother is, he lives in Denver right now, and he is a lawyer by training, but he's actually, he's been working in the real estate field and recently has been starting up actually a sports-related business on the side. So both my brother and sister, ever since we were young, both my brother and sister were very driven, very motivated. They both went to Ivy League schools and did all that stuff, and even in high school, played sports and did the student council thing and all that sort of stuff. And I was always the black sheep of the family.
Really?
Yeah, so...
The artistic one.
I don't know if I'd necessarily say artistic, just the one who screws around too much is probably a more realistic way to put it.
Well, you're the baby in the family.
Yeah.
You have to entertain the family.
Yeah, someone's got to be the comic relief, the court jester.
Ditto that. So let's talk about things you've done here in Korea. Tell me all the things. It's been a while, quite a while. I know you've had a little span of being elsewhere, not in Korea, and you came back to Korea. So tell me all the things. I know we have our resume of what you've done, but you know some of the things that you want to print out in terms of not just ABS, but other things that you've done.
I have done a lot of different things while I've been in Korea. When I first came, I started off doing some fashion modeling, which was terrible. I was really bad at. I was way too fat to be a fashion model. I did some acting, which was originally what I wanted to do. And that was my goal before I came to Korea. And for quite a while after being here, I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to do film mostly. And so I did a tiny little bit of film work here in Korea. And eventually got into broadcasting and did some TV shows. I think what most people know me for is I did a quiz program for a long time.
Yeah.
And it was just on